Okay, so on Tuesday in class, we went over the checking, writing checks example. There's a packet that has this page, and then it has blank checks, 2 deposit slips, and then a check register. We did all 3 checks in the first deposit slip. I'm gonna go back over this in case someone was not there in class. If you've already seen this, you can fast forward through this video. So the first thing we have to do is write 3 checks, and that goes over in this section, section 1. So there's these 3 bullet points. Each one describes how you're gonna write the check. Okay, so the first one says check number 12 was written to Melvin Quigley for $34.44 written today. So we're gonna use today's date, February 7th. So when we write the checks, the first check, you're gonna write check number 12, and I'm doing this in pencil in case I mess up. Normally you would write checks in pen. So I'm gonna put today's date, February 7th, 2023. We wrote the check to Melvin Quigley, and it was $34.44. And I taught him in class, you're supposed to butt the number up close to the dollar sign so no one else could forge the check. So if you start over here, you would be incorrect. So you have to write 34.44. So that's where it's written numerically. On this line, we write it out in terms of dollars, okay? So we're gonna write 34 and you have to write 44 over 100. That indicates there's 44 pennies out of 100 that make $1, okay? So then we're gonna put a line here so no one else could write anything else after the number, and notice that we started over here at the left edge. The memo is left blank because in the directions it didn't say anything about a memo. It didn't say what this check was for. So this checking account belongs to Hank and Mary Williams. So you can sign either person's name. I'm gonna sign Hank's. Okay, so that's the first check. Check number 12. The second check is check number 322. It was written to Save Now Stores for $15.01. It was written today. The purpose of this check is to buy school supplies. So for this one, we actually have a reason, so we'll be able to put a memo. So I'm gonna go to the next check, and it is check 322. Okay, again, it's today's date. It was written to Save Now Stores. It was $15.01. So again, we want to come to the edge here. We're going to write 15 and 1 cent. Now you don't want to just put 1 over 100. You want to put the 0 in front of it. So 0, 1 over 100. And then again, you're going to put a line across here so that no one else can write anything there. The memo here is going to be school supplies. And I'm going to write this one for Mary. Okay, so that's the second check from the bullets. The third check is check number 484. It's written to M.A. Rosario for $91.10 written today. There's no memo on this one either, so we'll leave that blank. So here's the third check. I'll write 484. February 7th, 2023. It's written to M.A. Rosario. And it was for $91.10. So then I'm gonna write out 91 and 10 cents. And I'll make this from Mary again. Okay, so that is the 3 checks. Next, we wrote the deposit slips. Now, deposit slips are used when you're going to go to a bank and you're going to deposit cash or checks or both, okay? On the deposit slip, we put cash in here, so dollars go here and cents go here. Now, the thing of this is like when you have cash, it's currency and coins. You have to add those together. So if you have $5 bill and you have 2 dimes, you would put 5.20. Checks go here. You're going to write the ABA number over here to indicate that that's the check, and then you'll put the dollar and cents for the check. Total for the other side, for us it's going to be nothing, but on the flip side of a deposit slip, you have a space where if you have more checks to deposit than what's listed here, what's allowed for here, you can total them on the back of the check and put the total here. For us, again, it's going to be nothing. So then you're going to add up all the cash, all the checks, and put that total here. Now, sometimes when we make a deposit, you can take cash out of the deposit. So for instance, I used the example in class, if I wrote a check to somebody for $500, but I wanted to take $100 out and keep it for myself, I would put the check, the ABA number here, $500 here. I put 500 as the total, but I would say I'm going to take out $100 for myself. So my net deposit, I would take the 500 less the $100 received. So my net deposit would be 400. Now, if we take cash out, you have to sign here for less cash in the teller's presence. So you would sign your signature for, so in this case it'd be Hank or Mary, and you always put the date on there. If you don't receive any cash back, you don't have to sign it. Okay, so for the first example, we'll be on number 2, and it says you're gonna record this information on the deposit slips. So it's today's date, so I'm gonna write, again, February 7th, 2023. And it says I have currency of $40 and coins of $1.44. Well, I'm going to add those two together. That's our total cash. So it would be $41.44. I'm going to record that here where it says cash. So I will put $41.44. Next, we're depositing with that a check number, ABA 18-81 for $51. And it says no cash is received back with this deposit transaction. So all of this money is going to go straight into the bank. So for that check number, I'm going to write 1881 here. And I'm going to write the $51.00 here. Total from the other side, I'm just going to put a line through because I don't have anything. And then I'm going to total these two numbers up. So it would be $92.44. Less cash received, you can put zeros here, you can put a line through it. So our net deposit will be the total amount of $92.44. Okay, the second deposit is here. This one says we're using today's date, and we have check 40-22 for $300 and check 24-12 for $32. But it says we're going to take $20 cash out of this. Okay, so again, on the deposit ticket, we're going to write today's date. So February 7th, 2023. There is no cash on this one. It was just checks. So you can put a line through the cash, but we need to write out these two checks separately. So again, the first check is ABA 40-22. You can just put the number, and that one's for $300. So on this line, I'm going to write 40-22 and $300.00. The next check was 24-12 for $32. So I'm going to write 24-12 for $32. There is nothing from the other side again. My total is going to be $332, but I'm taking out $20 of it. So I want to keep $20 for myself. Maybe I'm going to a ball game or something, whatever. So I'm going to write less cash received, $20 right here. Sorry, I put a line. You write zeros. So my net deposit, I have to subtract this from the checks. So what I'm actually going to put into the bank is $312. So because I took this money out, I have to sign this. So I'm going to say that this was Hank. So that's his signature on there to sign this. Okay, so that's the checks and the deposit slips. Okay. The next thing we have to do is fill out this check register. So we're going to record all of this information, and we're going to say that this, basically what this is your check register. So this is where you keep track of how much money you have in your account. So if you look at the columns, you have the item number. That could be like the check number that you wrote or the deposit, okay? Then you always put the date. You put who it was to, and if you recorded like a memo, you would put what it was for here. This is where you will put checks. So payment, this column is going to be, sorry, not check fee. The amount of the deposit, this is going to be checks you write. And sorry, gosh dang it. The amount of the payment, this will be your checks. The amount of the deposit, this will be your deposits from your deposit slip. Okay. So you always have to know what your beginning balance is. So we're going to say that Hank and Mary had $100 in their checking account when they started this information. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to record a couple checks, then I'll record a couple deposit slips. So I'm going to kind of put them in a different order. So the first check I wrote was check number 12 to Melvin Quigley for $34.44 on the 7th. I don't have a memo. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write in the item number, I'm going to write check 12. And the date here was 2-7. And it was written to Melvin Quigley. And I made a payment to him. I wrote him a check. So I have to write $34.44. I don't put a check mark here because we use that for the bank reconciliation. There was no check fee. I didn't have a deposit. So now I'm going to write here. This is, you would write the payment or the deposit here. So I'm going to write the $34.44 here. And I know because this is a check, I'm going to subtract this from the $100. So $100 minus $34.44. Let me get my calculator out here so I don't mess this up. Should be 63.56, I think. Oh, sorry, 65.56. So our balance now is $65.56. Okay, because I subtracted that out. I'm going to record the next check, which was the Save Now stores for $15.01. That was check number 322. That was for school supplies. So again, this is check number 322. Again, on the 7th. It was written to Save Now stores. And it was for school supplies. And this was a check for $15.01. So I'll write that amount here because that was the payment. So $15.01. Again, because I know it's a payment, I'm going to subtract that from the balance. So I had $65.56 minus $15.01. That leaves me with $55.55. Okay. I'm going to record a deposit now. So I'm going to record this deposit. On the 7th, we deposited $92.44. So here on the item number, I'm just gonna put, I'm gonna abbreviate deposit. It was on the 7th. And on the 2, I'm just gonna write it the deposit. So I don't write it here. I don't write it in the payment column. I'm gonna write it in the deposit column. So this deposit was $92.44. So over here, I'm going to add $92.44. So my balance is now 55.55 plus 92.44, which gives me 142.99. Okay. I'm going to record that next check. The last check we wrote was to M.A. Rosario, check 484 for $91.10. We don't have what it's for. So again, I'm going to put check number 484 here. That was on the 7th. It was written to M.A. Rosario. And you'll put the check amount here. So $91. Dog hair, I'm so sorry. So that's a payment, so I'm gonna subtract that here. So minus $91.10. My balance is now $51.89 because I took $142.99 minus the $91.10, leaving me with $51.89. Now I had one more deposit. So I deposited $312. I don't put the $332. I put the actual net deposit, the $312 on the 7th. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here again. I'll abbreviate deposit on the 7th. I'm gonna write that this was a deposit. And again, I'm gonna put it in the deposit column. So $312 even. So this was a deposit, so I'm gonna add it. So plus 312. So my ending balance for these transactions is $363.89. Okay, so that covers the packet that you received on Tuesday. Again, so like we did the first 3 checks and the deposit slip together in class on Tuesday, but this finishes it up.